Welcome to Point Blank, brought to you by Fitz Roofing. I'm Brandon Strange of Sports Map Houston. I am joined by ESPN 97.5 and 92.5's Joel Blank. Make sure you hit and like and subscribe. Really do appreciate it. Joel, welcome in. We'll talk some Astros with you. We continue to hear updates on Justin Verlander being ahead of schedule to return to the team following Tommy John. There's even been some mention of him going into the bullpen. What's interesting is that the Astros and Justin Verlander will have some big decisions to make regarding his future. By our math, the qualifying offer for Verlander would be somewhere between $18 and $20 million range. Do you think the Astros, because Verlander's falling off the books, do you think the Astros should maybe float out a qualifying offer to him in the event another team makes some crazy high dollar offer that at least they can get a compensatory pick in return?
I think there's a lot to unfold there in what you said, Brandon, because I think that the Astros should take a look at him if he's willing to at least start at 18 to 20. But it's more importantly how he's looked going into the negotiations to throw that offer at 18 to 20. If he looks like he's on schedule or ahead of schedule in his rehab, if it looks like his velocity and his mechanics and he's not having any medical issues and it looks like he's going to be back, there are going to be teams that want him next year. So, even if it's not going to be you, he's probably going to want to go to a big market if he gets out of Houston. He's going to want to go to a winner, and therefore they're going to have plenty of money to spend, and therefore should be something that Houston should capitalize on so that they don't let him just walk away for nothing. When it comes to whether or not he plays for the Astros this season, I think it's all grandiose for Astros fans and otherwise to be pointing the finger saying Verlander would be so perfect and he'll come back, and whether he's in the pen or he's a starter. Here's the thing. He's already paid for this year, and he doesn't have to do a thing. What he's not paid for is anything going forward. So at any point in time that he feels like he's going to risk his future by coming back quickly just to help this team this year, I would be a little bit skeptical if I'm an Astros fan and being realistic and thinking Justin Verlander is going to try and rush back to help this team this season.
How does the potential of them re-signing him for maybe an additional 1 or 2 more years, how does that impact their decision-making in bringing him back on an abbreviated timetable this year? How does that correlate?
I think where it correlates is the fact that there's got to be some really honest discussions between the organization and Justin Verlander and say, hey, look, if you're willing to come back this year, we're going to put this on the table for you right now. If you want to sign it, you can sign it immediately. And we're going to guarantee you 1, 2, 3 more years just to make sure that if anything goes wrong or that you need a guarantee, you've got one in your back pocket so that we are with you, whether you get through this unscathed or you have some medical issues that pop up. That's how much you mean to us. That's how much we want you to play this season. If those things aren't in place, I just think in Verlander's camp, the risk far outweighs the reward, and I can't see him taking that risk knowing the fact that he's going to have to come back and look for another contract from somebody else starting next season if it's not the Astros.
Joel, I want to talk about another big question mark for next season. But before I do that, give us a word from Fitz Roofing.
We love Fitz Roofing. Whether you need a new roof on your business or your house or a roof repair, or you're just looking for some home repairs or maybe a new fence in your yard, there's only one place to call. It's Fitz Roofing. They got the best warranties, the best ratings, and the best people doing work on a daily basis. And they do it all with a free, no obligation inspection that costs you absolutely nothing to do. 832-521-3001. Fitz Roofing, making a difference one home at a time.
Joel, Zack Greinke, he's another big name who falls off the books next year. I think based on this recency bias and what we've seen lately, I don't know that anyone's excited to bring him back. Do you see any scenario in which Zack Greinke comes back to the Astros an additional year?
I really don't, Brandon. I think the only way is a hometown discount and a half. I mean, I think he likes the fact that he can escape in Houston. The media doesn't hound him. They don't give him a hard time, ask him tough questions, and make sure that he's always available. But I also think that it's got to be at the right price. You have a surplus of young pitching under team control for many, many years to come now, and these arms continue to show you that they're getting better and better. Even a guy like Garcia to add to a Javier, to add to a Framber Valdez, and what you're getting from Urquidy, you know that you've got young arms galore that can be in this rotation, and whoever spills over because of the veterans that you still have in the roster, Odorizzi, and then whether it is a Verlander that comes back or you're still going to have McCullers no matter what, you have extra arms that are going to be long relief in the bullpen and make your bullpen better as well. So you're not in a position where you have to do anything, and Zack Greinke's not in a position where he has to either. He can either retire if he wants, he can find a place to play elsewhere, or he can give the Astros a hometown discount and say, hey, I'd like to keep going where this is going. I like the structure, but there's no pressing need on either side.